My favorite word is chocolate. I love chocolate.
And what is your least favorite word?
My least favorite word is no. I hate it when people say no.
What turns you off?
What turns me off? When when somebody like won't even put any effort into anything, like when they just aren't even willing to give something a try.
What sound or noise do you love?
I love the sound of my door slamming, because everybody knows that when the door opens in this classroom, when the door opens and then slams shut, it makes the most awesome noise ever. I love it.
What profession would you most like to do if you weren't a teacher?
My ultimate dream, which is the way that I found out that I actually wanted to be a teacher, my ultimate dream is to own my own summer camp. So I was a camp counselor all through college in the summers, and that's still my dream job.
What profession would you least like to do?
Garbage man, just couldn't handle it.
If heaven exists, what would you like God to say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Not what would I like God to say, but I know God would look at me and say, here's Justin Timberlake, he's been waiting for you, not for Miss Bainar.
God and I have a deal. JT will be mine. He prefers brunettes.
Who's the devil? Who's the angel?
Who is your bestie and why?
My bestie is that ugly brunette lady, Miss Bainar. I only hang out with her to make me feel better about myself. In all honesty, though, I love her because she makes me laugh, and because she is genuinely one of the nicest, most caring people that I know. And she also reminds me all the time not to take myself too seriously.
How did your husband propose to you?
My husband proposed to me at Sierra Nevada. We were in the restaurant, and that's the place where we had our first date. So we had met on New Year's, and we had gone on our first date to Sierra Nevada about a week after that. And then fast forward 4 years later, he was not feeling well all day long, but we were going to go to Sierra Nevada for our anniversary, and I kept telling him, we don't have to go, but we ended up going, and we sat down, and literally I was pulling bread out of the bread basket, and he looks at me and he goes, I have to ask you something. And so I said, okay, what? And so he, proceeded to ask and all that good stuff, and I was so caught off guard that I couldn't speak, so he had to look at me and say, are you going to answer me? and I said, yes, of course, yes.
What happened at your senior prom?
My senior prom was actually pretty boring. I grew up in a small town, only 50 people in my graduating class, and my date was a friend of mine who had asked me to go, and I think he was interested in dating, but I really wasn't, so it was just a friend thing.
Explain your ideal man.
My ideal man, 6'5", gotta be tall, somebody with a good sense of humor, but also a good sense of humor and just a stand-up, kind of honest, trustworthy person.
Do you have any pets?
I do. I have an English bulldog. Her name is Bella. Oh, I wish I could pull in a picture. She is the best dog ever. I have about 200 pictures of her on my phone.
What is your perfect day?
My perfect day would be sleeping in, drinking a cup of coffee in my pajamas, seeing all of my favorite friends, of course, having my husband there all day, and just getting to spend time with the people I love.
What's something that you wish your students knew?
I wish my students knew how silly, how fun I could be. Like, I try to be fun in class, but We talk about such serious subjects in psychology that I always feel like I kind of have to be serious, and I wish I could be more fun and more silly. So I think it was last year in the Learning Center, so freshman lunchtime, this freshman boy walks in, and freshman boys can be a little bit awkward and funny, but he walks in and he literally has a water bottle in his pocket, and I look over at him, and the first thing that popped into my mind was, is that a water bottle, or is that a water bottle in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me? And the words just came out of my mouth before I could even think twice about it, and I knew immediately I shouldn't have said that, but I did.
What would your advice to high school students be?
Don't get carried away with the small stuff. I know that high school is important, and it in this moment right now seems really important and like it's everything, but 10 years later, 20 years later from now, it's not going to be such a big deal, so don't get carried away with the small stuff.
Tell us about your wedding.
The worst part about my wedding was my stupid wedding cake, which did not turn out how it was supposed to at all. There was 2 things I didn't want at my wedding. I didn't want hearts, and I didn't want a bride and groom on top of the cake. And the day that the woman brought the cake, she came down to see me about 5 minutes before the ceremony started, and she said, I have a couple things I need to tell you. And she said I couldn't do the design and the frosting on the cake that I was supposed to. So instead I just did some hearts, and I kind of said, oh, okay. And then she said, and I couldn't do the bow on the top of the cake, so I stopped and picked up a bride and groom on the way, and I just, was upset, but what can you do about it? So other than that, the day was perfect and beautiful and wonderful, and if that's the worst thing to complain about, then well, obviously I love Justin Timberlake. It's favorite music. Anything that you can dance to. Love 80s hits. I really love to travel, so anything related to traveling I love. I love to read. I love to shop. I love to brush my teeth. It's very important to have clean teeth. Next question.
Okay, so what is your best vacation and why?
Best vacation was a couple summers ago. We started our vacation in New York City and spent several days in New York City, which was really fun because that was my first time going to New York, and I love it. And then from New York, we went down to the Bahamas and had a couple days in the Bahamas on the beach. So it was a perfect blend of city and sun and fun.
And what do you think is the meaning of life?
Ooh, well, in my psychology class, we watched a very wise person today, and he said that most important in your life is to love, and there is no life without love, and I think that's pretty wise.
Okay, thank you.